I'm Rand, and this is my layout. It's been 5 weeks since my last operating session. Usually I operate with the B&M operators on Tuesday nights. That is, the broken and mangled operators, not the Boston and Maine. But between going on a cruise, almost not getting off the cruise, and all the COVID social distancing, I've not been able to attend an operating session. So I thought I'd do a solo session. It'll help keep me sane, possibly amuse my friends, act as an introduction to my railroad, and give people that are new to model railroading operations an idea about what it's all about. Today I am running train WR-6 running from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania to Montreal, Canada. It's in the staging yard behind me. This yard represents Scranton, Pennsylvania, Buffalo, New York, and Schenectady, New York. According to my timetable, I'm in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Every train has a timetable listing all the towers and sidings that have signals controlling movement. I use this paper clip to keep track of where I am. This is better than the old system, which was dispatched by yelling. Most of the layouts in the group use radios to communicate, but this seems silly here where we are all in a 15-foot by 30-foot room. Helping me today, I have Rand, my dispatcher. Hi, I'm dispatching today. As an operator, you'll listen to your dispatcher for permission to move from place to place. I can see everything on the layout from this point of view. I keep track of where trains are, I can control the aspects of the tower signals, and I can throw all the switches on the main line. So nothing moves on this layout without my permission. Rand is acting as the Binghamton Yard operator. I don't even know why you brought me here. WR-6 doesn't even go through Binghamton. Well, I guess I got nothing better to do today. And Oneonta is, of course, being run by Rand. I also have a bunch of operators sitting in the other room eating cookies. They'll be along shortly. Since we're running to signals, I have to sit here and wait for the red dwarf beside my train to turn green. Said the light has to turn green. Seems like you have to do everything yourself around here. Now that we have a green light, we can proceed. We are now approaching UT Tower, where the signal lights are indicating that we have to stop. The first tower is in the hidden area of the layout. It plays the part of 3 different towers, one for each location represented by the staging yard. Each yard has a different track leading to the rest of the layout. The lights for the track are mounted on the monitor. You always have to stop for a red over red. You can proceed on anything else. A green light means you have clearance on the next light. A yellow light means you may have to stop at the next light. If the green or yellow light is above the red light, the tracks are aligned for the straight path and you can proceed at track speed. If the red light is above the yellow or green light, the tracks are aligned for the diverging route and you should proceed at slow speed. If that seems complex, all you really need to remember is stop on red over red. On the back of your timetable, you'll find 4 maps. Each map presents one pass through one of these towers. We'll pass through each tower twice, once going down the layout, once coming back up the layout. The idea of the map is you can find the tower you're going at. Right now we're at US Tower, and you can see how the track works for that tower. So we're coming in on this side, we go through the tower, and we'll come out on the other side of the layout. Our train is visible in the upper right-hand corner of the monitor. The signal mast above us applies to our train. The 3 signal masts at the bottom of the monitor apply to each of those 3 departing tracks. Looking at the back of our timetable, we can see the mini-map for US Tower. We can see that we're coming in from the right side and that we'll go across the entire back wall and come out on the left side of the room behind Binghamton. Once we're clear of the tower, don't forget to let the dispatcher know. WR-6 to dispatcher, clear US Tower. Since I'm here, I might as well explain CT-CF Tower. All the towers are labeled. There's a junction below the label. Junctions are controlled by lights at each end. When you enter a junction, you pay attention to the lights as you enter. You can ignore the lights as you leave because, again, the lights protect the junction. The lights at this end of the junction are controlling entry from Scranton, which is on the wall, and from Cobleskill, which is on the aisle. The lights at the other end of the junction control the traffic as it comes up the hill. Only one set of those lights work. We're right-hand running, so it's the aisle track. Our schedule shows us approaching BI Tower. Following that, we'll be going down Mount Ararat. As we clear CT Tower, we need to let the dispatcher know that we're past. WR-6 to dispatch, clear CT Tower. We are now passing BI Tower. WR-6 to dispatch, clear BI Tower. The Delaware and Hudson is a bridge line bringing traffic in from the north, south, east, and west. All of this traffic is classified in Oneonta. The staging yard represents 3 endpoints: Schenectady, New York, Buffalo, New York, and Scranton, Pennsylvania. All of these trains have to get from the upper deck to Oneonta on the lower deck. We do this through this long grade. The B and C towers merge these 3 lines into this one grade, and it represents 3 hills: Mount Ararat, Richmondville Hill, and Belden Hill. We are meeting another train. This train may be on Mount Ararat with us, or it may actually be on one of the other 2 hills. As we proceed down the hill, we'll wind up to the L towers. The L towers then break this track up into the 3 different directions once again. We have transitioned to the lower deck. Now we can proceed on to Oneonta. We are approaching LA Tower, which is hidden behind that hill. At this point, we should be looking at the monitor to determine if we have a red signal or not. Turns out we do, so we're going to have to stop. We're stopped at the red light, waiting for it to turn green. While we're waiting, we can look at the back of our timetable to see where we're going to come out after going through LA Tower. It looks like we're going to come out very close to where we went in. WR-6 to dispatch, clear LA Tower. Since this is the Delaware and Hudson Railroad, we have a Taruka Viaduct. We're going to run through this short tunnel on our way to Windsor. Windsor's on the peninsula ahead of us. To get to that peninsula, we go through some sort of hidden track in that dark area. I'm not going to actually follow the train through there. Instead, we'll describe what's going on in Windsor. There's a paper mill in Windsor that receives cars from a local running from Oneonta. This is the Windsor turn. The local drops off cars and picks up cars that were set up by the industrial switcher. The industrial switcher then takes the new cars and spots them at the various tracks. Various times during the operating session, anybody can go to the Windsor yard and move cars around that were dropped off by the Windsor turn. Looks like we have a red light for leaving Windsor. We must be meeting another train. Have to sit here and wait for it. We have a green. We can proceed on to Nineveh. WR-6 to dispatch, clear Windsor. Nineveh is where the line from Scranton, Pennsylvania and the line from Binghamton, New York merge together to go to Oneonta. WR-6 to dispatch, clear Nineveh. WR-6 to dispatch, clear Bainbridge. You can see from our timetable that we're running through Sydney and that we'll be in Oneonta next. When we reach the yard limit for Oneonta, we have to stop. Then we have to notify the yard operators that we're here and we would like to enter. What train are you? I'm WR-6. Okay, WR-6, I want you to hold where you are for a moment. I want to explain what goes on when you approach a yard. As an operator, when you approach a yard, you have to ask permission to enter. The yard operators will tell you whether you can come in or not. Right now, WR-6 is holding while I figure out what to do with it. Most of the layouts in our operating group use car cards. These are carried around by the train operators, given off to the operators in the yards, and then they do what's on the cards. Here we do it a little bit differently. When the train arrives, we find out what train it is, and we look up the control card for that train. So this is a control card for WR-6. It tells us what cars we're going to pull off the train and what cars we're going to put onto the train. In this case, it says draw 6 set-out cards. These are the set-out cards. Pull anything from the hunt tray, and then some special instructions for particular types of cards. This card, which is our set-out card, says we're going to take any car from the end of the train and put it on any 84's track. So we'll pull off a number of cars destined for different tracks and set them aside. Then we go to the track that's been collecting cars for WR-6. We'll pull those cars out, put them on the end of WR-6, and away it goes. Once it's gone, we take the cars we've pulled out and we classify them into the various tracks. So WR-6, I've already got 3 trains in here. It's been a busy day. Pull your train in, go get some cookies, and we'll give you a call when you're ready to leave. Okay, the yard is done with us. Now we have to contact the dispatcher and get permission to run on the road. This is my favorite non-tunnel on the entire railroad. It's always fun to give an operator a throttle, let them run through here, and right about here yell, "No, stop!" What really happens is the train proceeds under the highway and goes back around the way it came. We are approaching LR Tower. We've already been through it and it was called LA Tower. We should now go find the monitor and watch for a train to appear. Once it appears and we have a red signal, we'll have to stop. This is a behind-the-scenes view of the L Towers. So we have a red light, so we have to stop before we enter the junction and wait for the green. WR-6 to dispatch, clear LR Tower. An operating session isn't just about running trains. Tuesday nights we have a regular group of guys to get together and we talk about all sorts of things, only about half of which is related to model railroading. Be patient. Train is going to make yet another appearance in this shot. We had a green light at BA Tower, so we'll proceed behind Binghamton on our way to Cobleskill. WR-6 to dispatch, clear BA tower. We have a green at CF tower, so we can continue on to Cobleskill. WR-6 to dispatch, clear CF tower. WR-6 to dispatch, clear Cobleskill. We are approaching UN Tower. Time to go to look at the monitor and see if we have to stop or not. Yay, it's green, so we can just go flying right on through. WR-6 to dispatch, clear UN Tower. We're almost home. Just gotta check the signal light that controls entry into the staging yard. It's green, so we get to keep going. We'll proceed along the back wall to the other end of the staging yard, go through a little reverse loop, and come back into the staging yard. So that was the full run for WR-6. There are about 20 trains that run on this layout. So at this point I can ask for another train. I can switch to another train from the staging yard, or I could take this one out again on a different route. Having a single staging yard in a reverse loop means any train can run on any route. So if you like this and want to see other jobs on this layout, let me know in the comments below. Until then, I'm off the railroad.